James Creedon for Media Watch. So we start with Time Person of the Year, for better or for worse. Let's remember.
That's right.
Donald Trump.
That's right. And indeed, of course, every year generates a lot of discussion. The more divisive the person, the more discussion there is. And that's probably good for sales. So maybe that's taken into account. I don't know. Anyway, Person of the Year, Donald Trump, President of the Divided States of America, is how it was put on the front page of Time magazine. Now, that didn't please everybody. Because I suppose, where is the tweet in question? The mainstream media, says this person here, hates Trump, and although he was Person of the Year, they had to say Divided States of America to diminish this announcement. So some people unhappy with the choice of wording there. Others saying, who came second? Was it Hillary? So again, I suspect that was probably a Trump supporter, because Hillary didn't come second, as far as I'm aware. Every year you have people pointing out that controversial figures in the past, such as Adolf Hitler, Joseph Stalin, Nikita Khrushchev and Ayatollah Khomeini, have all won the Person of the Year award. And Time magazine, even though it's perceived often as an honour, frequently say, look, it's just about somebody who marked the news and was influential, as this tweet says it, this person who is anti-Trump, the person who had the greatest influence, for better or for worse. So that obviously can be a whole range of characteristics and not necessarily positive. Now, Time magazine, they've had an interesting array of front pages dealing with Donald Trump this year. You can see that perhaps the tone has been changed somewhat over the course of that time. Meltdown, total meltdown. And then somewhere in the middle there was, the fact that he won the election. And so I think some have been commenting on that progression of front pages of Time magazine vis-a-vis Trump over the course of the last 12 months.
Well, the tone might have changed, but the hair color obviously did not. Next to revelations about NSA spying. The latest Snowden leaks indicate that in-flight communications were intercepted. Tell us more.
That's right. So if you think you're escaping the possible net of NSA espionage when you're in the air, no, you're not.
There's no escaping it. That's
right. The Intercept, what would you say, aptly named, they published this information, the latest series of unencrypted messages from Snowden that Snowden released, along with Le Monde, in fact, the two of them collaborating on this. And in fact, Air France seems to, in particular, have been targeted. Now, there were many other pieces of information emerging, apparently spying on Israel, on the Palestinian Authority, the fact that the NSA, this is a tweet by Glenn Greenwald, who set up the Intercept, which is one of the media to publish this latest series of information. Apparently, the NSA is grappling with how to store so much data because they're collecting so much data. Now, all of that is in itself perhaps not so surprising because we're getting used to this sort of information. And Le Monde has pointed out that 3 years after the initial Snowden revelations, actually mass surveillance is doing as well as ever. It hasn't really stopped or gone into reverse. And indeed, it's not just in the US. The GCHQ, which is one of the surveillance agencies in the US, has been accused of being as involved in this espionage of aircraft in-flight communications as just as much as the NSA were. Edward Snowden saying here the UK has just legalised the most extreme surveillance in the history of Western democracy. It goes further than many autocracies. So all of this is surveillance laws that were passed since the initial NSA leaks. So in fact, people saying, oh, whistleblowers, it's going to change everything. You know, once we have a degree of transparency about what's been going on, it's going to change things. Well, not yet in any case. And the GCHQ, which is, I guess, the British equivalent of the NSA, their particular program, which was used to monitor onboard communications, was known as Thieving Magpie, which almost seems like they were poking fun at the people they were robbing the material of. And the NSA's program was called Homing Pigeon, which is sort of ironic because there were some people after the initial NSA leaks saying, are people now going to have to turn to pigeons, carrier pigeons, homing pigeons for everyday correspondence in order to avoid the reality that anything that is sent electronically is open to being tapped into?
Well, it's retro, but it might be the solution. Right. And finally, a video of Francois Hollande's announcement that he won't seek re-election going viral online, but with a twist.
That's right. Now, hopefully we'll have sound on this. This is Francois Hollande announcing within the last week that he was not going to seek a re-election. That's the video that we were all used to seeing with a sort of blue screen in the background. And somebody very cleverly decided to imagine the removal men already operating away in the background over at the Elysée Palace. Now, first of all, he's got 5 months left in the job, so the removal men aren't there yet.
Right.
Second of all, I really don't think he would have given his speech while the removal men were acting away in the background. I just don't think he would have done that.
I don't think so either, but it is pretty funny.
It is pretty funny, and there's a little moment at the end that I have to show you where they are vacuuming. I think, and then the lights go off. It's unfair.
It's unfair, but
it's funny.
It's kind of funny. All right, thank you very much, James Creedon with Media Watch. Stay tuned, more news coming up. You're watching France 24.